my part of Chicago, just as all cities have this particular.
I didn't start out as a director. As most directors, I started out acting. I still do some acting, but I was working with a black theater program as an undergrad at Cal State Sacramento and did a lot of plays as an actor, and I started directing while I was still an undergrad, but I was acting mostly. And then eventually, directing just became a little bit more convenient for me. Principally African American theater. That's what I was hired to do. So mostly when I say mostly, sometimes I do Latino theater or white theater, but mostly I'd say about 90% of what I do is African American based. And so I choose plays based on what I think the audience is going to appreciate and support, the student audience and the community audience, because in the city of Fresno there is no African American theater. The African American theater of our region is here at Fresno State.
Well, everything's all well and good, boys. Tally ho. Tally ho, officer.
Tally ho, boys.
Tally ho, officer.
Tally ho, tally ho.
I choose plays that I think will sell well, that will be interesting, provocative, and educational for the student body and also the community at large.
The time frame is till 9, but they might run a little over.
If they run over, we certainly can do a scene, maybe 5 minutes, maybe from.
And I offered that maybe she was running late for work.
I have to pick things that are going to be attractive to them. And this show is probably for our students that are socially conscious, that are activist students, that want to see change come about socially and politically. This is about as good as it gets in terms of encouraging students to be a part of solutions. And this is a major, massive problem in terms of the injustice that African Americans are going through with regard to police brutality and excessive force. So this show was chosen specifically to bring students in that would be interested in this subject.
Moments, I want us to experience the same experience together. Love makes you want to lose yourself. Go back to being an idea, uncompromised, free.
We do an evaluation every night of the performance. So by the time we get to the end of the show, we've already, critiqued it as much as possible. And it's not a critique per se, it's a way of just adjusting.
Explain to her how she was being dismissive. Because when you're talking about issues of race, you cannot say that we all go through it. Why is that?
Again, I like to use the NFL as a metaphor. They're constantly in practice, and they're constantly retooling and refocusing their quarterbacks, their offensive line, their defensive schemes. Their various offensive and defensive packages. So it's the same with us. We're constantly adjusting the play to make it better and better and better. So by the time we get to, we're good. We start off good. But there's always some small tweaks that we have to make. Sometimes things don't work well with an audience. So then I have to tweak that a little bit to make it read better to the audience. So we're constantly adjusting and evaluating and perfecting the show for the duration of